Hello and welcome to episode 48 of the Subject Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Michael, and joined every week by the other host. What's up? What's up, Chris? How's it going, man?
Oh, you're talking about me. All right.
Oh wait, who's this? No, I meant the other host.
The other
Hello,
host.
Fridge. How you doing over there? Just chilling?
Oh man, I'm chilling. I'm sitting back. I'm relaxing. I'm ready for this week. I mean, everything's sort of still going the same way as what we spoke about last week with the whole situation in Canberra and people just trying to cover their tracks and not take responsibility for things they probably should take responsibility for. But hey, it's a low bar. Someone's got to set it.
Well, you see that what they announced today that they're trying to promote interstate tourism more now?
Yeah. Gladys Berejiklian has called for the state borders to ease their restrictions because, and this is her actual reasoning, we loosened the borders with Victoria when they recorded 0 cases, so why doesn't people loosen the border restrictions because we've no cases? It's like, Gladys, nobody likes you. Just stay out of other people's affairs. Well, clearly you have enough shit going on in your own life.
I feel like it was interesting because, New South Wales was recording almost 0 cases. And then they were about to open the borders. And then Anastasia was like, no, don't do it. And then there was a huge outbreak in the northern beaches, you know.
And
so that's
like, what saved us from not having an outbreak here.
Yeah, we had, a 3-day lockdown in Brisbane just because there was, one person that got diagnosed with it. And then, 3 days later, everything was all G, you know what I mean? Brisbane did well. We were just like, all right, chill out. Right. Long weekend, no worries.
Everyone just goes on a bender for that weekend.
But then, Victoria, when they go down for, a 3-day lockdown or 5-day lockdown, they just freak the fuck out. And then there's, protests, and it's like, a lot
of that has to do with the media and the way that they distribute that information, because a lot of the media in Melbourne, at least, is very anti-Daniel Andrews.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of the papers, obviously, because we keep saying that, it's all owned by Murdoch, and you got
you keep saying that. It's
Victoria, true. Queensland, Western Australia, they're all Labor Parliament members. You know what I mean? They're the ones that run the state, so of course they'd be against pretty much anything that they have to do or say, which is kind of retarded. But it's annoying because now it's not even. I don't even think it's the media anymore. It's in the people now. The people are just like, we don't want to do this anymore. We're done. We don't give a shit anymore. Yeah. We don't give a shit about COVID. That's the mindset with a lot of people now. It's just like, I just don't care. I just don't care. I just want to do whatever the fuck I want now.
That's not the attitude to have, especially during a worldwide pandemic. People, we've got to, help each other out.
Yeah.
You guys can't expect us to want to let people into our state if there's been an outbreak somewhere in your state. No, that's not going to happen. We want to limit the infection. We're trying to flatten the curve. Just do the smart thing, people. It's not that fucking hard.
I feel like the curve, in a way, has been flattened. There is no rapid rate of infection anymore that will overwhelm hospitals. It's not that anymore. People are able to go to their aged care homes and visit their relatives now with a lot of ease. All it really takes now is someone to fill out a questionnaire saying, have you had flu-like symptoms in the last week? Have you been in contact with someone with COVID? Of course, it's easy to just fake that and bullshit all over the table, but I feel like a majority of people are quite honest with it, and it's more now us being reliant on people's own will to stay home if they are sick or if they think that they may have something. You know what I mean? It's up to us individually now to stop it from spreading, not so much by not traveling or isolating and all that kind of stuff now, unless you think you are sick. I think it's just more freedom should be allowed. We should be allowed to go interstate, but we have to rely on each other now to stop it from becoming a huge thing.
And a funny little side track. It's a little bit off topic, as we want to do, but people that are visiting China from Japan have complained to the Chinese government, saying that they want them to stop using the anal testing swabs for COVID, because apparently it happens to Japanese tourists a lot.
Just the Japanese?
Yeah, it's specifically the Japanese tourists that are getting just the anal swabs from Chinese border security.
Jeez.
I just find that hilarious, that it's just like concentrated on this immigrants or tourists, I should say, from this one country. And it's getting so bad that they have to complain to the government.
Yeah.
To please stop anally testing us for COVID. Just do the fucking nasal wipe or whatever it is.
Yeah, I feel like, like going from one country to another.
International.
You should be quarantined for sure. At least they should come up with a better way of testing, a faster way of testing anyway, that's more reliant. Because there have been cases where people have been tested positive for COVID when really they've just had a cold or something like that. Like they didn't actually have COVID. And I think the testing needs to become faster and
more efficient.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think that what they did was there was like a huge panic with the COVID when it first started. It was like, oh, freak the fuck out. And then it was, oh, quick, get testing kits. Oh, quick, buy a shitload of testing kits. Oh, yeah, they do all right. Well, it's okay. We'll just quickly swab someone and then send it to the lab and see what happens. But now, because there isn't that many cases, and they don't come up as often, they should have a more efficient way of doing it, whether it be, I don't know, actual taking bodily fluid samples, like urine tests or something like that, I don't know if it would show up there, but I feel like if it did, you'd probably have more to look through and to find there than just one little nasal swab or butt wipe, you know what I mean?
I just found it funny that the Japanese started complaining about that I found was funny.
Yeah, I think it's
you're right. It does need to be more efficient, because it's not really that efficient right now.
Yeah, when they announced that there was the new testing of the butthole, it was
my sphincter clenched.
Super weird. It was just like, so we're going through the nose, but hey, let's find a new way. Yeah, let's go through the butt. Yeah.
What other orifice can we test?
Yeah, thing you know,
not the mouth, not the eyes, not the ears, but the anus.
Yeah, that's the best way to go.
It is definitely the best way.
Like I'm not. It's like, okay, is it more uncomfortable for a person to get something stuck up their nose and swabbed at the back of their like sinus, or having a little swab go in your bum? What's more uncomfortable?
I feel like the most uncomfortable thing would be the sinus swab.
Yeah.
Because I feel like with the way that those swabs are, it'd just be a quick in and quick out. And done.
You would hope so, yeah.
Just in and out. Done.
I feel like it'd be the same with your butt too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The butt would be the easier way.
Oh, the butt. Oh, yeah.
Because the sinus would be the most uncomfortable way.
Yeah.
Because, it's something getting shoved up your nose. People are generally uncomfortable with things being close to their face. So,
Well, I mean, I'm pretty uncomfortable with things getting near my butt too.
I mean, yeah, that too. But I feel like that would be the least of the uncomfortable scenarios.
Probably be more comfortable for you, but probably more uncomfortable for the person that has to do it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's true. They're medical industry professionals, Mike. You've got to remember this.
Oh, that doesn't make it any more comfortable.
Yeah, true.
It's like when a nurse goes to clean up diarrhea off the floor. Yeah, she may be a medical professional. Doesn't mean she wants to be doing
I don't
this.
get paid enough for this shit.
So moving on from that, we have a what we like to call the Quad Alliance. So we've briefly touched on this a few months ago. It's the alliance between the US, Australia, India, and Japan. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to essentially boycott China. So moving all the factories and the industries to Japan and India, because it's like, especially in India anyway, it's still cheap to manufacture these things like it is in China, but we have a better connection with India at the moment than we do with China.
Yeah, and I mean, China doesn't treat its people well, whereas India somewhat does a little bit better.
Oh, they've got the caste system over there. It's essentially like, oh, I have more money than you, I'm more important than you. Child slavery. It's the same in China.
It's still not good,
You know?
but I feel like it's at least a little bit better than China.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
I
like
don't
choosing
know.
between. It's like choosing which you would rather eat. Would you rather eat dog shit or wolf shit?
Well, I don't know. It's all shit to me.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's still feces, but you got to choose which one you would rather eat.
I feel like,
I'd rather not eat shit in the first place, but hey.
yeah, I mean, like, well, I think they're both kind of, close to the same, but we have a better relationship with India because China, obviously, with ScoMo being all, it's your fault, fucking, we're coming for you.
Actually, that was a rumor started by Murdoch, who is still Australian born, but and is best mates with Scotty from marketing.
But so China is doing the same with the US because all these countries that have been trying to push for China to look into the start of COVID and look into their government, why they didn't announce it as soon as it was found. There was all these
Something's going on.
Yeah, there was something going on. There's a lot of accusations towards China, and China was just keeping it quiet and being like, no.
No, you can't investigate us. No.
It's
Stop
too much
investigating
dishonor.
us.
No.
Yeah. It brings dishonor upon our nation.
So with this Quad Alliance, they're having the first summit meeting, which is all the leaders of those 4 countries.
It was like the G7 or the G20 or the United Nations.
Yeah.
It's the same as all those other summits, except there's just 4 of them instead of 7 or 20.
Yeah, and they're just meeting for basically what's going to benefit the 4 countries.
Yeah.
So the summit is going to be this weekend. It's going to be a virtual meeting between the leaders of the 4 member of the what they're calling the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue Forum. It's a bit of a mouthful.
It sounds like something you'd see on Reddit.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a subreddit. So
these countries are essentially the Indo-Pacific region is what they're working on essentially. So Scott Morrison, Joe Biden, you got Japan's Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga, and India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
So New Zealand's not invited into this alliance.
New Zealand doesn't really. It's a pretty small country.
It is a pretty small country, but it's like right next door to Australia.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think maybe New Zealand's just not really big enough to be important.
It just doesn't want anything to do with Scott Morrison.
Well, I mean, it's not really just Scott Morrison. It's all of them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like, maybe she's just like, nah, I don't want to be a part of this. I'm still my own thing over here.
Wait, Scott Morrison's in this club? Yeah, no, I'm good. Thanks.
So they're expected to cover all things around the coronavirus pandemic, climate change, and the economic challenges. So they're going to talk about the rollout of vaccines to be developing the Asia-Pacific nations is also going to be a major focus. So the rollout of vaccines, which is good, I guess. They're going to be talking about that between the 4 countries.
Yeah, well, I mean, with Italy blocking their vaccines coming into Australia, that we're kind of in need of a supplier.
I mean, like, I'm sure Japan will be able to manufacture the shithouse out of that.
Absolutely.
And, to be honest, if you think about it, like the US being one of the leading military nations in the world, India being one of the largest populated nations in the world, Japan being one of the most technologically advanced countries in the world, and then you've got Australia. So
yeah, hit me a beer, mate.
I mean,
Australia is also quite technologically advanced. We have a lot of really good technology.
Yeah,
here,
we are
like
pretty
we spoke about
well
last
off.
week.
We are pretty well off in terms of like first world nations.
Yeah, but yeah, not as much as Japan. We're not as militarily strong as the US, and we're not as populous as India.
Yeah.
So we're kind of just sitting there being like the jack of all trades and not really having a specialty.
Yeah, we're the tradie country that gets called in.
We're like that one labourer that gets called onto site.
Yeah.
He goes, "Righto, boys, what do you need me to do?"
Rocks up, doesn't even bring his own tools.
No, the Sparky goes, just fucking jump up into the roof with me, mate.
Yeah, so Scott Morrison said that the meeting marked a setup to a, quote, whole new level for the alliance, which he described as, quote, an anchor of peace and stability in the region. What? Like, what do you mean?
Scott Morrison is definitely not the person I'd describe as an anchor of peace and stability.
It's interesting. Like, so he quoted that the Indo-Pacific is our world. This is where Australia lives.
Really?
Yeah, no shit.
You mean Scott Morrison's looked at a map before?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
He probably got told.
He probably consulted Jenny.
Yeah. So he said that what the Quad is about is ensuring an open, independent, sovereign Indo-Pacific that enables all countries and nations within the Indo-Pacific to engage with each other. So he's basically saying that what we're trying to do here is get these countries to engage with each other more than before. And it's like, yeah, okay, good. But
how's that going to help?
Nothing's really changed. Like, you're not changing anything. Like he's physically not changing anything. He's just talking to these leaders privately, essentially, about what they can do.
So he's basically sitting down with them and having a drink.
Yeah, all televised, so they're not actually meeting, which is good, I guess.
Yeah.
So the Quad was formalized in 2007 and has previously met at the foreign minister level, but not at the leaders level. So the White House press secretary Jen Psaki said the summit showed that Biden administration is deeply engaged with the Indo-Pacific. This speaks to the importance we place on close cooperation with our allies and partners on the Indo-Pacific. A range of issues will be discussed facing the global community, from the threat of COVID to economic cooperation and of course the climate crisis. Sorry,
which Scott will just quickly sweep under the rug.
Yeah, because like
Clean
Australia
coal.
has literally got. That's the thing. Like Australia has no real climate change policy at the moment. So when he meets here with Japan, who's one of the leaders, the US now with Biden at the head going hard on it. I'm not too sure how good India is going with it, but I feel like the four of them are
India
gonna
at
get
least
together.
has a climate policy.
Yeah.
Like they've at least sort of set targets here, whereas Australia has not. Or rather, Scott Morrison and the Liberal government has not.
Yeah. So I think what's happening here is that with these four countries that, like we said, with China being more assertive with their foreign policy, I guess, that we're trying to look for a way to go around China. So with trade and manufacturing, helping to boost each other's economy by just going through the four instead of heading straight to the huge economy that is China. Like China has some of the most money in the world. You know what I mean? Like they're fucking they're crazy at the moment.
Isn't it like 5 of the 10 richest people in the world are Chinese?
Yeah, I'd believe that for sure. Of course, like the 2 richest men in the world are American.
Yeah,
but it's private money. They don't really put that back into their government, to be honest.
No, absolutely not.
So yeah, the United States has said that they are looking to strengthen ties with key allies in the Indo-Pacific region. Mr. Biden has also spoken about his desire to encourage stronger global action on climate change from world leaders. And Australia last year joined large-scale military exercises in the Indo-Pacific involving the United States, Japan, and India, the nations that hold up the interest of the region's security. So this is good because that means that these, like, the four countries are also, working together with, their military. So say that there is another world war against China, the Indo-Pacific is going to be well guarded with India and Japan, the US and Australia.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, that's some deadly force.
Especially with the US's spending of multiple $1 trillion into military spending and funding.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, America spends, like, what their country is the highest country in the world spending on military.
Yeah, and they have hundreds, if not thousands, of military bases all over the world.
Yeah,
not just in America. So America's Army and Air Force and Navy is spread across the world. So if they converged in the Indo-Pacific region, then that would obviously mean that there would be thousands of US ships and hundreds of thousands of US troops in the same area. And that's just the US, not including Australia, who also has multiple thousands of troops and ships and all that kind of stuff. We spend a lot of money on defense as well.
Yeah, we do.
I don't know how much Japan spends on defense. It's probably a little bit less. And India, they'll spend money on whatever they think is necessary.
Yeah, Japan, I think, is at a big risk because they are so close to China as well.
Oh, definitely.
So I feel like Japan has jumped in on this because of, like, the security that comes with Australia and the US.
Consider North Korean missile testing. What was it? 2016 and 17, I think.
Yeah.
And they sent a intercontinental ballistic missile straight over the top of Japan.
Yeah.
And that happened multiple times, and all Japan got was a text saying, "Oh, hey, there's a missile heading over the country.
Yeah,
please head to some form of protection."
But North Korea was just being, a flexing idiot because they were like, what we're going to do is we're going to start working on long-ranged missiles. So the US found out that they wanted to basically develop their technology to be able to reach the US. So North Korea only got to a point where they could reach Hawaii. And then as soon as they were able to reach Hawaii with their missiles, the US was like, no.
It threatened total annihilation.
Yeah. So then they were like, okay, look, if you keep developing your weapons, we're going to fucking come over there and we're going to show you our weapons. And
our weapons are a lot more boomy than yours.
North Korea was like, oh, okay, well then we'll threaten China. And then China was like, oh, you fucking idiots, no more trade. And then North Korea was like, oh shit, okay, Japan. And then Japan was like, no, we're friends with China, you fool. And then
we're friends with literally everybody else you've threatened.
Yeah.
Stop it.
And then all of a sudden it went quiet. North Korea was like, okay, well, we literally just pissed off the whole world. Now we're fucked. And then the last thing I heard about North Korea was that Kim Jong-un was supposedly brain dead and that his sister was taking over.
Haven't heard anything since. So I guess them being quiet is a good thing. But I kind of don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, hearing nothing is kind of scary at the same time.
I mean, yeah, and then all of a sudden there was a new chef at work called Min, and he's from North Korea. So it was a bit suspicious.
Spy!
Yeah. How'd you get out?
The only reason he has a visa is because he is part of an espionage team.
Well, he said he used to be in the military there.
No!
Yeah. You gave it away.
Damn it.
So the Quad meeting is scheduled for the 13th of March, which is this Sunday. So it's interesting, huh?
Definitely. I mean, I'm hopeful for this alliance being a good thing for all parties involved.
I just wonder how China's looking at it.
China's already throwing a dummy fit at it.
Yeah,
they're putting tariffs on Australian coal and other exports. So now Australia has like, I think it's like $1 billion worth of coal just sitting there, not doing anything.
Yeah.
Because China said they would buy it. And then they put tariffs on it. So everybody in China that wanted to buy it previously now doesn't want to buy it. So they're like, oh, shit.
What do we do?
Yeah, now there's...
No one wants to buy this because everyone's turning away from coal.
Guess what? Nobody wants to buy coal because everyone's, like you said, turning away from coal. And Scott Morrison's just doubling down on coal mines going, yeah, more coal, clean coal. This will get everybody back into coal. No, Scott. Just move on with the technology.
Yeah. I really hope ScoMo doesn't piss off any of these fucking leaders.
Oh, he will. He'll find
Like,
someone
seriously.
to do it.
Next thing you know, Australia gets kicked out. It's just like, ugh.
And now we have no one to trade with because our Prime Minister's an idiot.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So,
it's just... And I also want to make something clear as well because, we have a tendency to badmouth the politicians that are in power. I want to make it clear that we're not bad-mouthing the systems that are in place that are underfunded. Bad-mouthing something for being underfunded is not the same as bad-mouthing the person that is responsible for the underfunding. I don't want to rely on government things if they're underfunded.
Yeah, it's hard to rely on government things, if it's underfunded. Like it's hard to rely on the public health system if it's underfunded, and it's hard to rely on, say, Centrelink if it's underfunded. And what you're supposed to live on $43 a day. It's insane to think that's possible.
Exactly, and like JobSeeker and JobKeeper ending at the end of this month, so that that stuff is just being cut, and there's no real plan for anything after that.
Yeah, what happens then?
A lot of fun, and oh man, I love this. There's a story going around. I think it was the Treasurer went over to Mackay for a press conference on what would happen after JobKeeper and JobSeeker, and obviously Mackay, Cairns, the Sunshine Coast where we're from, Brisbane, and the Gold Coast are a lot of tourist hubs.
Yeah.
So there's been a huge impact on, especially the hospitality industry, in these specific regions because there has been little to no tourism internationally and interstate. So the whole thing was the Treasurer was supposed to go up there to deliver a speech saying, "Hey, we do have a plan after JobSeeker and JobKeeper is finished," and the press were like, "Okay, what is that plan?" And the Treasurer was like, "Oh, we'll tell you. We'll let you know in the next few days." And nothing has happened since.
Yeah.
And also going up there to say, "Oh, we have a plan," just to turn around and say, "We'll tell you what the plan is later."
Yeah, it's obviously
what
they're just buying time.
It was all for
until it's too late.
Yeah, it's all for publicity. That's all the Liberal government do is just work on their public image. They don't actually work on helping the public. There's two very different things.
Yeah, it's like if you cut funding to your, say, entire either disabled or unemployed population, like people who are unemployed and people who are unable to work, then they can't afford to, say, buy things. They can't afford to rent, they can't afford to save. So not only do you shit your economy even more because there's less money going around, you then have a higher risk of homelessness, you have a higher risk of suicide, you have a higher risk of deaths from the inability to get proper, say, medication or anything,
Or
so
if we talk about robo-debt, that caused 2,000 suicides.
Yeah.
And it was a made-up figure from a robot.
Yeah.
That went over and looked at averages over the industries, but didn't actually look at what the specific client was earning.
Yeah.
And then just decided, oh, you owe this much back to the government.
You owe $3,000, pay it in a fortnight. Okay.
And
where the fuck do I get that money?
That shit's illegal.
Yeah.
Especially if the person is on JobSeeker or JobKeeper, when they are literally getting money from the government to help them live.
Yeah.
It is, and that kind of shit just pisses me off.
Yeah.
And I want to make it clear that we're not shitting on the systems unless they are unlawful, but it's hard to get proper assistance from a system that is inherently underfunded and therefore doesn't work in the way it was intended.
Yeah.
And that has been a theme for the Liberal government's way of running things since they got in office.
Well, I mean, like, Centrelink has been shit, for years. Like, honestly, like, it's good to have a welfare system, and I do understand that there are people that do, take advantage of that for sure. But at the same time, there are people who say, oh, I work for a living and then I pay taxes and that pays your money in your pockets. Okay, say that person works 4 days a week. Okay, you work 4 days a week. You maybe earn $500-$600 a week. So in a fortnight, you're making roughly about $1,200 to $1,000, right? These people in a fortnight are probably making, what, $300?
Yeah.
And you're saying that your tax goes into that for these people that now have to live on, let's say, $150 a week to then pay for their rent, their food. Say they have kids, so they got to pay for their kids. It's kind of really hard to shit on these people who are literally being shat on by the government that's supposed to help them.
Through no fault of their own, for the most part.
Exactly.
Like, I understand if you're a drug addict and you've put yourself in that situation, that's kind of on you.
Yeah.
I know addiction is hereditary, it's genetic. You have nothing that you can do to really control that until you get on top of that addiction and you can, sort that out mentally.
Yeah.
But as it stands, there are 10 job seekers to every single job, which has gone down from, I think it was 13 job seekers to every job last time we spoke about this. So statistically, it's about a 10% chance that you are going to get a job that you apply for.
Yeah.
Even if you do get that job, the Liberal government has cut penalty rates and is about to take away weekend rates as well. So they're literally trying to constrict the majority of the workforce, especially in the hospitality industry at least, so that the economy just gets worse and worse and worse, and the rich keep hoarding more and more money.
Yeah.
And let's also remind ourselves that I think it's 1/3 of the 600 most profitable companies in Australia don't pay any tax. They pay $0 in tax.
Yeah.
From something like $600 billion in profits over the course of a year.
Yeah. What was
which is more criminal than a chef taking $80,000 in Centrelink payments.
Yeah.
I feel like those people should be arrested for billions and billions of dollars in tax fraud, whereas this chef needed 80 grand and now he's in jail for it.
Yeah. Well, there was an ultra rich tax bill that was written up in the US.
Yes.
And
I like this.
Essentially what it was is that if you had over $1 billion worth, like net worth, then you would have to pay a certain percentage of that in tax. And what was it? It was I was looking at Elon Musk's net worth, and what he would be paying was like $300 million in tax off this one thing, and that is nothing compared to what like the $100+ billion he is worth.
I think he's worth like $160 billion or something like that.
So what's $300 million to you?
Pocket change.
Seriously,
it's chump change.
And then
Elon.
that then goes into your economy, and $300 million from one person,
that's a big
from
boost.
one motherfucking person into your economy. Now think of that here. Say, you got 10 of the fucking richest Australians who
got Clive Palmer. He could do to pay some fucking tax.
Dead set. Like these people can literally pay what is nothing to them into our economy, and that will help with fucking everything.
And that's not saying that they pay more tax than the average person. That's just saying that they pay the right amount of tax.
Yeah, they literally are paying a very small percentage on their net worth, which has to be at least, I think there was one which was over $1 billion, and then there was one where it was over like 100 million. So if your net worth is over 100 million, then you pay a little bit less percentage in tax, but the percentage is what, like, it was like 3%.
Yeah.
Like 3%.
That's less than the average American pays in tax, which I think is like 33%.
Yeah.
It's not even saying that these companies pay equal tax to the average person. They're just saying that they pay some tax. and that is boosting their economy by, like you say, $300 million out of just Elon Musk.
Yeah.
If we look at Clive Palmer's or Gina Reinhart's net worth and tax them 3%, just 3%, that's it. They're already paying fucking nothing. So if we charge them 3% for the pleasure of taking our natural resources and selling them to the highest bidder, then I'm sure that would help out the economy far more than arresting a chef for fraudulently taking $80,000. Yes, he's fraudulently taken $80,000, but if we look at JobKeeper payments, Harvey Norman got $57 million in JobKeeper subsidies.
Yeah.
And they handed their executives out extra bonuses last year from JobKeeper. And they didn't have to because Harvey Norman's sales went up by, I think it was 130% or something like that.
Well, that's the whole thing where ScoMo was like, look, if businesses don't want to report on their,
Or they don't want to return
they don't want to return the JobKeeper payments, that's fine. It's up to them. And then it's like, oh, but hold up, you got a little bit too much from your Centrelink payments. Oh,
Jail time.
You got to, you're going to prison and you're going to give us that money back.
Yeah, it's absolute bullshit. That is the part of the system that we want change, because that part of the system is hypocritical. If you're on JobKeeper or Job Seeker, I should say rather, because you physically cannot find a job and you need assistance, that is not the same as bad-mouthing the government for being corrupt.
Yeah.
I mean, I just wanted to make that clear because I've had a couple of people in the last few days try and point out things like that, and it's a lot easier to say it rather than type it in a Facebook comment. And also, Facebook comments are trash. So,
So
have you seen
so
the
while
comment
you're down
section?
there, guys, go down to the comments. Leave us a comment.
Don't do it on Facebook. Do it on Instagram, or do it on YouTube. Do it in Spotify or on Podbean. Do it somewhere else other than Facebook, because we all know that Facebook is like a safari. You can leave nothing behind except for good memories. I don't know where I was going with that. Moving on.
Queensland government has passed the law banning single-use plastics and polystyrene takeaway containers.
Good.
Yes. This starts of the 1st of September. So that means there will be no more plastic straws, cutleries, stirrers, plates, any of that. All gone skis, which is great.
I do like that. That's some good news. And I think they're moving to like a fungus-based material to replace the polystyrene.
Well, there's lots of available things now, from all over. Like a lot of third world countries are starting to produce these biodegradable plastics even then, like all these different biodegradable non-single use fucking shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's more than just plastic bags. It's more than just packaging containers. It's all these little single-use plastic bags that are like wrap, DVD cases. That little plastic wrap that's on them when you buy them in the store. That's a single-use plastic right there.
Yeah.
And that's usually is non-recyclable. So replacing things like that with a biodegradable alternative is only going to benefit everyone, because it's going to be cheaper to manufacture. It's going to be better for the environment. It's going to be cheaper to obviously degrade because it's biodegradable.
Yeah, what they should do is move on to places like EB Games. You don't see their cases there wrapped in plastic because all their discs are out and put in the drawers, so why don't they just do that in shopping centers? Just have a drawer with all your CDs, and then when someone brings their case up, then you just put the fucking disc in the case. There you go, you're welcome.
Done. Or even better, you can do back in the day when you had like DVD rentals, they'd use a little slide lock to lock the DVD case closed, so you physically couldn't open it. Even though the disc was inside, you physically couldn't open it. You had to take it up to the counter. Old mate would put it in a machine where it would unlock that lock, and then hand you the disc. You could do something like that, which is also a cheaper alternative in the long run
Yeah, exactly.
than those single-use plastics. Like there's been alternatives for fucking decades now, and it just hasn't.
Because it's just cheaper not to.
Well, in the past it has been cheaper not to, but I also feel like companies are fucking lazy and they want to maintain the status quo where they get to decide what to do, and now it's coming back on them. Like, hey, no, you guys are actually responsible for, 90% of the greenhouse gases.
Yeah.
Do something about it. And now they're going, oh, I guess we could do this. Oh, look, it's actually a lot cheaper than just making plastic.
Yeah, they're looking at even getting rid of heavyweight plastic bags, which was so stupid. Like Woolies is like, all right, we're going to get rid of these lightweight single-use plastic bags by bringing in these thicker, even harder to fucking fuck off the planet plastic bags that you then have to pay for.
Yeah. By the way, give us 50 cents for this bag.
What the fuck? It's the stupidest shit. Oh, they should
so
just get
dumb.
back to fucking paper
so
bags.
angry,
Like,
mate.
seriously.
Yeah.
Or some kind of, eco-friendly paper bag, or some kind of something that's been made out of, I don't know, like corn husk or something.
A recycled newspaper.
Yeah, like seriously.
You could go ahead and just make a shitload of garbage bags out of The Guardian. Nobody reads that shit anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Sydney Morning Herald.
But it's great because Queensland is now the second state moving from this. South Australia was the first one that went full.
Guess what? South Australia, also a Labor seat.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. Labor is doing things for the people, like trying to keep weekend rates going.
Yeah.
That's Labor. Guess what? Medicare. Oh, look at that. That was Labor. The privatisation of Medicare was the Liberal government.
So they're also looking at getting rid of like coffee cups.
As in the takeaway coffee cups.
Takeaway coffee cups that are like single use.
That's fair.
But they would have to be special biodegradable coffee cups. But the plastic lids that go with them will be probably looked at. You may not be able to get those anymore.
I mean, for the most part, those plastic lids are recyclable, from what I understand.
Yeah.
But I don't think the cups themselves are recyclable.
Yeah, some aren't. It's kind of hard because, in a way, it is single use. You just use it once and then you throw it away. So I guess it's then finding the line for it. And I mean, honestly, like when I go to the supermarket and those rolls of plastic bags that you get like near the fruit and veggie aisle, and honestly,
single use.
Yeah, when I see people using that shit, fucking grinds my gears. Just pick up your carrots, put it in your shopping cart, walk away. Honestly, why do you need to put it in this tiny little plastic bag that you're just going to yeet off when you get home?
Yeah, I mean, most of us are going to wash our veggies and fruit before we use them anyway at home because they were going to have pesticides on them from the supermarket.
Yeah.
So putting them into a plastic bag, tying that shit up and chucking it in your trolley is just, taking a bag unnecessarily. Like you don't need that.
Like there are some that do have the paper bags for sure. Maybe I'll use that. But
like mushrooms and stuff like that. Yeah. You have them in the paper bags.
Even then, I'll take them from the mushrooms and fuck off down the next aisle and put something else in it.
Put my carrots in that shit.
Yeah. So yeah, like it triggers me. I see mostly boomers doing it, to be honest.
It's the way I've always done it. Why you gotta shit on me for doing it?
Anyone from the age of 30 and under, 35 and under, ever grabbing that shit, to be honest.
Yeah.
And you know what? Yeah, I'll look at you and I'll give you a stink eye if I see you doing it. That don't fucking bothers me.
Just give him a complete fuck.
Yeah, I honestly hope that you feel bad doing it because you should.
I mean, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it's so much easier to move towards renewable and recyclable things nowadays.
Yeah.
Especially with the way technology is going. Like we keep saying that it's scary, the amount of technology that we have, but really we're living in the beginning of a golden age of technology where we've got so much potential and there's so much progression that we can make. We're just yet to make it.
One day, sir, it will be there. We'll have full sustainability. Everything will be brought to your house by robots made out of
paper.
bamboo and fucking solar panels.
I mean, to be honest, we probably could make a drone out of bamboo. Bamboo's pretty fucking strong.
Strong and light, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, you just got to put a circuit casing in bamboo. Boop.
I mean, bamboo's already hollow.
There you go.
So just grow it in a certain way, in a certain thickness, and you've got arms, you can make rotors, you can do whatever. So
there you go.
go.
$1 million idea.
Big brain time right there.
Copyright subject
Copyright.
podcast.
Yeah,
if you guys want to invest, let us know. We'll get onto that.
Bamboocopters.com.
Yeah.
Make sure to follow our Patreon.
Drone boo.
Drone boo.
You want a drone boo? Yeah. I'll hook you up, man. No worries. All right. So I think that ends the political kind of government side of today's episode. Chris, you have a nice little story here of a little birdie bird.
Yeah. This little bird's called the black-browed babbler. Try saying that 3 times fast.
The black-browed babbler.
Yeah. The black-browed babbler has been rediscovered in Borneo after 180 years where it was thought to be extinct. So back in the 1840s, there was a mystery bird that was caught on an expedition to the East Indies. Charles Lucien Bonaparte, who, yes, is related to that Bonaparte, is the nephew of Napoleon. He described it to science and named it the black-browed babbler. The species was never again seen in the wild, and the only specimen was a stuffed one featuring a bright yellow glass eye. That was the only proof of its existence for 180 years.
Ooh.
But now it's been rediscovered in the forests of Borneo. So it mostly lives in rainforests, obviously, Borneo being a huge country of rainforests. Borneo itself being a tiny country, but the rainforests in them being huge. But yeah, the experts from Borneo, who are apparently experts in this bird, have confirmed the bird's identity, noting its strong bill, chocolate colouring, and distinctive black eye stripe. Unlike the taxidermied specimen, the bird's iris was apparently a striking maroon colour.
Ooh.
It feels surreal to know that we have found a species of bird presumed by experts to be extinct, said Rizki Fauzan, who was one of the guys that discovered this particular bird. There was 2 guys out in a forest, just having a wander around, and they came across this bird that they didn't recognise. It was October last year. They managed to catch it and photograph it, and then they released it and reported their findings to various bird watching groups in the area. Rizki says, we didn't expect it to be that special at all. We thought it was just another bird that we simply have never seen before. The uncertainty over the bird's existence was compounded by confusion over when and where the first specimen was collected, with ornithologists assuming that the German naturalist Karl Schwaner discovered it in Java. There was apparently a false alarm there. Not a whole lot is known about this little bird. Like, I've got the Wikipedia page up here, and there's really not a whole lot that we know about it.
It knows how to disappear for a long time.
Yeah, apparently it's hide and seek champion. I don't even have many dimensions or anything like that. Like, we don't even know how big this bird can be, what its breeding habits are, what it feeds on even. We just don't know a whole lot about this. But I think it's really cool that after 180 years of it being the only specimen, was a stuffed one in some old dusty museum somewhere in Europe. Now we know for a fact that it's out there in the wild. We don't know how numerous it is or if it's endangered or not, but it's just more incentive for us to explore the rainforests instead of cutting them down.
Yeah,
because we don't know what other kind of fantastical species
They're still about in there, yeah.
Because there's 1,700 bird species that live across the archipelago of Indonesia, with many remote islands not well surveyed by scientists yet, despite the region's riches, inspiring Alfred Russel Wallace's theories of evolution 170 years ago. So, we've inspired a lot of scientific discovery especially in rainforests. There's a whole lot of biodiversity in rainforests.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Little microbes that feed on the leaves of various plants, to the big predators that live in there, like Sumatran tigers, or you've got Indonesian elephants that live in those rainforests as well. There's a whole range of animals that we can look
and even then, it's not just the animals, it's the plants too.
The plants as well. There's thousands upon thousands of variations of one species of flower
it's crazy.
In the rainforest, and it's spread across the world because it needs different adaptations for different climates. Yes, they're all in rainforests, whoop-de-doo, but they're all in different countries.
Yeah, but still,
they're from the same genome, but they're different plants. Like, so much can be discovered from just looking through the rainforests. And I think that we should do more to conserve them so that things like the black-browed babbler don't go extinct again.
Yeah.
Or so we don't think that they go extinct again.
Yeah, there's a lot of cases around the world where animals have thought to have gone extinct, and then, was a couple of years ago, in Switzerland, what they'd thought the wolves had all gone extinct there, and the moose. Then they started finding these wolves and moose that has slowly started returning, which is great, to see these animals coming back. But that doesn't mean that they'll always come back.
No,
and that doesn't mean that they're not going to disappear again.
Like recently, I've seen a couple of articles claiming that the thylacine, the Tasmanian tiger, had returned to Tasmania.
Yeah.
It turned out that the photos, at least that I saw, were cats and not actually a thylacine. The thylacine is more closely related to dogs than they are to cats.
Yeah.
Like the Tasmanian devil is more closely related to a dog, just like the thylacine. And if you don't know already, Google the Tasmanian tiger. It's a very interesting creature that unfortunately was hunted to extinction by early settler Europeans when Tasmania was first colonized.
Dangerous animal.
Dangerous animal, but beautiful creature.
Oh, yeah. I think they look freaky as fuck.
They do.
Scary, man.
They do look scary, but they look scary in the same way a lion looks scary or a tiger looks scary. Like it looks beautiful at the same time, but for a fact that thing could take your head off.
Yeah, definitely.
And Tasmanian
tiger kind of looks like a mix between like a dingo and like a tiger.
Yeah, I think it is a species of dingo that got separated from the mainland species and developed a different coloration. So if you look it up on Google, you'll see that it has stripes on its hindquarters. Yeah. And it moves up to, I think, about its rib cage. Yeah. And then it's just like a plain, bland brown or black color.
Which you would assume a dingo looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. And the physical features of this animal are pretty close to a dingo. It's pretty skinny. It does look kind of freaky.
But some of these, you'll see photos from 80 plus years ago, Yeah.
And it's a beautiful looking animal. Beautiful looking animal. And I hate the fact that we've hunted that and the dodo to extinction.
Yeah. Then you look at the
multiple other animal species, regardless of size.
Then you look at the fucking devil, and they're like giant, murdery rats.
Yeah, they're pretty much. Yeah, they are marsupials.
Scary. It's like if a wombat went on crack and just started going crazy.
Yeah. It is a wombat on meth, essentially.
Yeah, dead set.
The Tasmanian Devils are named so because they are quite aggressive. Obviously, they got big ass teeth.
Oh yeah, they'll chomp you.
I've heard a power to weight ratio for their bite force is stronger than a crocodile's.
Yeah.
So they've got a serious bite.
Take your fucking arm off, that's for sure.
Yeah, they definitely could, especially if they start fucking ripping around. Because they're I think just a little bit smaller than a wombat. From memory,
yeah, they're roughly what is it say here? So they're roughly about 30 inches in length, and they can weigh up to 26 pounds.
26 pounds
quite
is
heavy.
something like 10 kilos, I believe.
National Geographic wants me to sign up. No! Just give me my information for free, please.
Give me the info that I need. Yeah, it's 11.7 kilos. So you can imagine...
pretty heavy motherfucker.
Yeah, like 10 kilos of basically pure muscle is biting down on your forearm, and he's just going to town on it.
Yeah.
You're going to have some serious marks after that.
Oh, for sure. They, they're also, tree climbers too, so
they
you can't really run away. You're kind of stuck.
Tasmanian Devils are drop bears.
Yeah, they can travel up to 16 kilometers a night.
Yeah.
Yep. Scary.
And they are nocturnal as well, which is a lot of fun. Because if you've ever stayed in Tasmania around where Tasmanian Devils are found in the wild, you can hear them at night.
Yeah.
Making their fucking screeching sounds.
Yeah.
And it's all sounds that you can imagine, like some scary fucking animal out in the wilds would make. It's all like...
little off topic here. I was at the museum in Brisbane a few weeks ago, and there's this bird called a catbird. And now when I was living in Udalo, the catbirds make this sound which sounds almost like a crying baby, like a dying baby. Like,
God,
like
that's
it's
terrifying.
horrendous. And every morning at roughly about 8 o'clock, it would be outside my window just screaming this horrendous noise.
What
and
a great
it scared
alarm
the
clock.
absolute shit out of me the first time I heard it. So when I went to the museum, they had these taxidermied animals just everywhere on this one level. And I saw the bird section. I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to go have a little look here. And there it was, the catbird. And I thought, you motherfucker, serves you right.
I hope you realize it wasn't that specific catbird.
Nah, it still felt good though. Still felt good to see one. Someone got him.
Serves you right, you absolute cat.
So that is today's episode. Let us know in the comments what you think about what's happening with the Quad Summit this weekend, and what you hope that they do talk about, and what you think may happen in the end, and whether or not China actually is going to do anything about it, because I don't think they will. I don't think they can really.
Probably not without instigating something.
Yeah, so make sure to like, subscribe, follow us everywhere. All the links are down in the description, so follow us at all those places. Leave a comment if you enjoyed today's episode, and we will see you next week, every Thursday. What are we at? 48 this week, so that means in 4 weeks it will be a year that we have been doing this podcast, and I just want to thank you all for being there and listening every single week. It's been great.
Yes. It has been a lot of fun this past year. And I think episode 52 shall be a bit of a special episode.
Yeah, we'll make a little special episode.
We'll do a little special. So stay tuned for that. Until then, we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week. Adios.